सहनाववतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। The new year, everyone. We'll start with the verses 71 to 80. Starting with our prayers to Lord Arunachala in this new year, that may Lord Arunachala remove all the obstacles in our path, and we come one step closer to realizing the self as Arunachala, as Brahman, the truth about ourselves as non-duality. अरुणाचल शिव अरुणाचल शिव अरुणाचल शिव अरुणाचला अरुणाचल शिव अरुणाचल शिव अरुणाचल शिव अरुणाचला अरुणाचल शिव अरुणाचल शिव अरुणाचल शिव अरुणाचला अरुणाचल शिव अरुणाचल शिव अरुणाचल शिव अरुणाचला. Okay, so the verses 71 to 80 today. So let us read these verses first, chant these verses first, and then we can go over these one by one. Thou hast possessed me, unexorcible, unexorcisable. Oh, it's a difficult word. There's a different reading to it. But anyways, thou had possessed me, unexorcisable spirit, and made me mad for thee, that I may cease to be a wandering ghost, O Arunachala. Be thou my stay and my support, lest I droop helpless like a tender creeper, O Arunachala. Thou didst benumb me with stupefying powder, then rob me of understanding and reveal the knowledge of thyself, O Arunachala. Show me the warfare of thy grace in the open field where there is no coming and going, O Arunachala. Unattached to the physical frame composed of the 5 elements, let me forever repose happy in the sight of thy splendor, O Arunachala. Thou hast administered the medicine of confusion to me, so must I be confounded. Shine thou as grace, the cure of all confusion, O Arunachala. Shine thou selfless, sapping the pride of those who boast of their free will, O Arunachala. I am a fool who prays only when overwhelmed by misery, yet disappoint me not, O Arunachala. Guard me lest I flounder, storm-tossed like a ship without a helmsman, O Arunachala. Thou hast cut the knot which hid the vision of thy head and the foot, the limitless self. Mother-like, should thou not complete thy task, O Arunachala? So we go to the verse 71. Thou hast possessed me, unexorcisable spirit, and made me mad for thee, that I may cease to be a wandering ghost, O Arunachala. So here, as if the ego is a ghost that possesses this self, this jiva, and what has God done, or what must God do? God must possess the self, the jiva, so that this ego, the ghost of ego, is displaced. So something of this sort is happening. The soul was so far mad after the world, and so as if this this ghost of ego had possessed its mind. And now what has happened? It has overcome with the madness of God. So now the possession of evil spirit, which had predominated initially, is now displaced by the possession of the high spirit by God. So what happens when the soul becomes God possessed? Uh, like Unmatta, like that Unmatta Hathi. It behaves like that Unmatta Hathi. She behaves like a child or a lunatic or one that is possessed of the ghost. So the devotee's new madness is an elevating experience. This is what the commentator says. And her new possession, what is the new possession? That this madness about God, which has displaced the madness about the world and the sense pleasures. This madness about the world, uh, it has resulted in an elevating experience. And this new possession is what is going to save her and make her whole. So, outwardly, this person may be called as mad, may be seen as mad by people who revel in the world, in the sensuous pleasures, in the Vishaya. They may not understand this person and the habits of this person, uh, but it is this madness alone uh, which is going to save this soul uh, from the bondage and make her realize the real self, the non-duality with Arunachala, with Bhagavan, the non-duality with Brahman. So here in this verse 71, uh, this ego is also compared to the spirit, to the ghost, the evil spirit, which is displaced by uh, a good a good ghost or a good spirit like a genie. I dream of genie. So of something of that sort. Here Bhagavan is our genie who displaces the evil spirit, the evil spirit of ego. uh, what is the ego? The ahankara, mamakara, the I-ness, the mindness. This is being displaced by the genie of the madness about God. And this then takes us one step closer to Arunachala. Then 72. Be thou my stay and my support, lest I droop helpless like a tender creeper, O Arunachala. So here again an example of creeper is given. What is the state of a creeper? It needs support. It cannot stand on its own. It needs either a pole or a tree or something uh, to stand uh, to stand erect for the support and to grow, etc. It needs that support. So here Bhagavan Ramana Maharshi is telling that, oh God, oh Arunachala, you please be my support for me, for I, who am like a creeper, who cannot stand by myself and who need a support. What kind of support? A firm support. And who is that support? You alone are that support. Your grace alone is that support. So please, Arunachala, please, Brahman, please, God, be my support. Um, and then alone, I can walk this path of knowing myself as non-different from Arunachala, from Bhagavan, from Brahman, from God. So so here the devotee appeals to God that God, please do not forsake me. I need your support. Uh, why is it so? Why do I need support? Because right now I'm torn apart in this samsara and maya. This maya and samsara, this world, they uh, they hold very powerful forces, um, facing which I cannot stand by myself. They create adverse conditions, and in order to battle against these and succeed, I must have your support. You must aid me and support me, and then alone I can stand uh, and face all these obstacles. So here the commentator says the mind's devotion to God is compared to a creeper, the creeper who is twining a tree. In a similar way, uh, mind or ahankar or ego is devoted to Bhagavan and is asking for the support, not to forsake that support. And then 73, thou didst benumb me with stupefying powder, then rob me of understanding and reveal the knowledge of thyself, O Arunachala. So, so again, God's uh, grace is compared to a magic. What does this grace do? It 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 takes away my ignorance. It robs me of understanding. What understanding? This false understanding. Ego, right? The ego thinks that it knows everything. The ego tries to understand God according to mind, intellect, etc., according to its parameters. But that is not how God is to be known. That is not how Arunachala is to be known. But until we wake up, until that knowledge happens, until we are blessed with wisdom, um, there is still a tendency to use the same means to understand the truth, to understand Brahman. And so here it is being called, God's grace is being called for. Uh, what kind of grace? The grace which is of the nature of magic. It works like a magic, or like the magician's powder, the magic powder. This is how the grace of Lord works. And what does it do? It robs me away of this false understanding, uh, which is ignorance, which is ego. And when it robs me of this false understanding, the ego, what has happened? It reveals the knowledge of myself. It reveals my true nature, uh, which is uh, the Advaita, uh, which is the oneness with the Lord. This is revealed when that false understanding is being robbed of by the magic of the grace of Ishvara. So, and then, yes, and then what happens when that false notion or false understanding is robbed off? It reveals the knowledge of thyself. And what kind of knowledge is that? So, here the commentator says, it is such as that knowledge which is devoid of any distinction of the seen, sight, seeing. So, no triputi, no differentiation of the knower, known, and knowing. So, all these differences or distinctions, they diffuse. They do not remain in the wake of knowledge. And this knowledge, it is not a modification of mind. It is not a chitta vritti. What is it? It is pure awareness. Awareness. It is chinmatra, which is God the Self. This pure Chaitanya. Then 74. Show me the warfare of thy grace in the open field where there is no coming and going, O Arunachala. So, what is the open field? Brahman, the infinite, limitless movement. This is the open field. And God, you please show me the warfare. What is the warfare? Or between whom is this warfare? Between ignorance and the light of wisdom. Bhagavan, I want to see this war between ignorance and wisdom, and then I want to see how the battle is won, uh, so that I remain uh, as one with you, where there is no coming and going. Why? Because Brahman is ekam evam advitiyam. It is one without the second. If there was second, then there would be an occasion of coming and going. But because Brahman is so that it is one without second, there is no coming and going. There is no birth and death, etc. So here the devotee is asking, requesting Bhagavan, requesting uh, Lord Arunachala, please show me this warfare between avidya and vidya, between the light of wisdom. Let's see if commentator has anything to add. Uh, so how is Brahman to be gained? So what is Brahman? Ekam evam advitiyam. And how is Brahman to be gained? By battling against and conquering plurality, the notion of duality and its cause, avidya. So how has this battle to be won? By understanding that this is a notion. Uh, this duality is a notion, plurality is a notion. How is it born? How is it born? It is born of ignorance, not knowing my true nature, not knowing my true self. This has resulted in uh, this notion of plurality, the duality, mutual exclusion. So devotee prays here for the sight of this battle between avidya and the knowledge. He also wants to see that, Lord, how is this wisdom going to win this battle, fierce battle between avidya and knowledge. So then 75, unattached to the physical frame composed of the five elements, let me forever repose happy in the sight of thy splendor, O Arunachala. What is thy splendor? Satchit Anand, Brahman, O Arunachala. What is thy splendor? Thy splendor is this, your Swarupa itself, which is Satchit Anand. So here the devotee is saying, requesting Bhagavan, Lord, please make me free from this bondage of attachment with this five elements, with this body, mind, sense complex, which this with this panchabhutas, etc. Make me free from this bondage, bondage of attachment, calling this mind, calling this body as I, and then as mine. This is the bondage. And here the devotee is requesting Bhagavan, pleading Bhagavan, praying Bhagavan, God, please make me free from this bondage of ahankara and mamakara. And by freeing it, then you please make me one with thy splendor. With what is thy splendor? Sat Chit Anand. So when I will be de-identified with this body mind sense complex, with this sense of ahankar and mamakar, then I will become one with this splendor of Brahman, which is Sat Chit Anand. So, and how will this de-identification happen? By when the false identification will be removed. And how will that be removed? Of course, by the grace of Lord. So again, invoking the grace of Lord to help in this process of de-identification. So then 76, thou hast administered the medicine of confusion to me, so I must be confounded. Find thou as grace the cure of all confusion, O Arunachala. So here the devotee says, delusion, ignorance is the cause of bondage. And this is the basic sorrow of all mankind. So, what is the cure of this delusion? Uh, Knowledge, of course, uh, is the cure for this delusion. So here, the devotee is comparing Bhagavan with both the one who administers the medicine and the medicine itself. Bhagavan, O Arunachala, you are both the one who administers this medicine to me and the medicine itself. So you please administer this medicine to me so that I become devoid of this roga, this disease of confusion, of delusion. And when I'm free from this disease of confusion, from this sorrow of confusion, uh, then on having that grace of yours, then I will realize my identity with Bhagavan, with Arunachala, with Brahman. So here there's a second element as well, the sentiment as well. The devotee is saying, Bhagavan, why should I worry about this so-called disease in me, so-called delusion and sorrow in me? Because I have you as my doctor. You are the doctor, and you yourself are the medicine. So I do not have to worry when you have come to me as the doctor and medicine, and this is how your grace is going to fall on me. So I have nothing to worry. I just have to be and let things happen. Ultimate reality in the form of Aruna Hill is your is this supreme medicine for this jiva's illness of ahankara mamakar, of this shoka and moha. And the mere thought of Lord, you administering this medicine will also cure this root disease of bondage. It will cure this shoka and moha in my personality. Then in verse 77, shine thou selfless, sapping the pride of those who boast of their free will, O Arunachala. So, it is this notion of ahankara and mamakar in this body mind sense complex, which throws the jiva into the sansara and does not allow him to recognize his true identity, which is the oneness with Arunachala, with Bhagavan. So here, the jiva says, please suck away my pride. Please suck away my pride. Please remove this false notion, ahankara, mamakar of mine. Why? What does that do? It boasts of my free will. Because if I had known my Swarupa, uh, then I would be free, right? But right now, this ahankara has as though sucking my true nature, and it has as though it is sitting on me, not letting me enjoy that freedom, which is my very nature. So, Lord, please suck that pride away from me. Um, how? God's grace, of course. Uh, your anugraha, Bhagavan, your anugraha alone will be able to take, uh, to rip off this pride of me and allow me to dwell in my true nature, which is freedom, which is happiness. So make me realize of the grand identity with Brahman, with Arunachala, with Bhagavan. And then uh, this identity will make me free from identification with this ahankara and mamakara. So, how will I be able to remove this identification with the body mind sense complex? How will this process of de identification take place? Uh, by the process of identification somewhere, Bhagavan, when I will identify with you as my true self, then this process of de identification will automatically happen. So let this wonderful process happen in my life so that I do not limit myself by identifying with the limited self with this body, mind, and sense complex. And 78, I'm a fool who prays only when overwhelmed by misery. Yet disappoint me not, O Arunachala. So the typical tendency of humans is being said here that humans tend to pray to Lord only in times of misery or in time of Artha Bhakta, like it is said, when help is needed. But even then, even in spite of my being selfish, please do not disappoint me and please hear my prayers. You please come to me, come save me, rescue me, and make me free. Because freedom is my swarupa. So you please make me free um, from this handcuffs of ego, uh, and allow me enjoy my true nature. So here the commentator says that when one doesn't know in entirety, what is this ahankar? Not knowing the truth, meaning knowing just little. Uh, I am not just body, mind, sense complex. I am Brahman, right? I'm not limited to body, mind, sense complex. So yes, body, mind, sense complex, the BMI also I am, but I am not just that. So right now, because I take myself as ego, as ahankar, I take myself only as this body, mind, sense complex. But had I known that I am Brahman and it is I who give existence and satta and spurti to this upadhi, uh, then my knowledge would not be said to be limited knowledge. It would not be a alpa gnana. It would be a comprehensive knowledge. Um, and in this knowledge, in this kind of knowledge, I would know my true self as is. But right now, I do not know. And what happens in this Alpagnanam, in because I take ahankara to be myself, because of this identification, what happens? The ego as though gets puffed up that I am something, whereas the ego derives its existence from somewhere else, from this Brahman, which is Atma, which is my true self. This ego, which is not even a independent entity, which is not a, self-existing entity, is as though jumping up and down, overestimating its importance, that I am everything. Uh, it imagines that it is all powerful, and but what happens when a hard experience knocks on its head uh, and humiliates it? The ego, as though, cringes and craves for the sake of self preservation. So, this is something very important. We should take a note of how, during our spiritual pursuit, uh, our ego is constantly subjected to, like the ego is being checked, and every time our some part of our ego is being checked, uh, it as though gives a push. Anytime it feels the pressure down, anytime it feels that suppression, it as though pushes that, hey, I'm here, and it as though tries to make itself evident. So, this is being noted here by the commentator that any hard experience, whenever the ego feels that my existence is being challenged, then it craves for that sake of self-preservation, and for the purpose of self-preservation, it will make many attempts, and we have to try to observe ourselves and observe how, in what different ways the ego tries to assert itself, it tries to preserve itself in what different conditions. So we should observe it. And then, realizing the worthlessness of ego, the devotee soul prays. So now the devotee realizes that this ahankara is not able to protect me. So it goes to the feet of Bhagavan, Arunachala, that this ego is not able to protect me, Lord. I've come at your feet. You please rescue me, because so far I thought this ahankar I am, but this ahankar I am not. By a slightest pain, now I realize how I am not ahankar. I am uh, how my entire existence is as though being challenged in this challenging conditions, and this has made me realize that I am something more than this ego. I am something more than this ahankar, but I'm still in between condition. I have not still realized entirely my true nature, and yet I know that I am not what I have been taking myself so far as. I'm not this body mind sense complex. I'm not this ahankara. So ahankara I'm not, and yet I'm still not established in my true self. So in this in between state, my mind is a little bit anxious. So you please protect me, Bhagavan, and you please do not disappoint me, O Arunachala. Please come to my rescue and protect me. So in 79, Guard me, lest I flounder, storm-tossed like a ship without a helmsman, O Arunachala. So the Jiva's plight is like that ship in the water, in the ocean, which is in the middle of the storm, and the ship is tossed here and there, uh, and it is not just any ship. It has lost a sense of direction, it has lost a sense of purpose of where I am to go, how I'm to go, etc. And it is blown here and there. Uh, Here, the jiva is blown by our desires itself. My own desire tosses me from one end to the other end, and I am as though tortured by my own desires. And this jiva is as though without a pilot until it resorts to the Guru, to the Bhagavan, to Arunachala. This jiva is like a ship without a pilot, and it is just tossed and thrown from one end to the other without any mercy. And in such a state, just as the ship would be doomed to destruction, so also would be the plight of this jiva. So here the devotee is praying Bhagavan to be the guard, to be the guru, to be uh, that the beacon to guide the jiva through this storm and guide him in the right direction, in the right path, so that he can fight these storms of ahankara and mamakar and work it out, work all the obstacles, and understand the true nature of the self. And then the last one for today. Thou hast cut the knot which hid the vision of thy head and foot, the limitless self. Mother-like, should thou not complete thy task, O Arunachala? So again, the Hridaya Granthi is being talked about. This knot of ignorance is the cause of bondage, says the commentator here. So what is this Hridaya Granthi? Between Satya Mithya, taking the Mithya as Satya, and between Atma and Anatma, between the true self and Anatma, the body, mind, sense complex. This identification in this Upadhi, this is the Hridaya Granthi, because it is like a knot between Satya and Mithya, between two different realities. Uh, so here, uh, this this bondage is as though beginningless and endless. Why? Because the jiva is not able to figure out or understand the limit and end of this avidya. So, is there any rescue from it? Yes, Lord Himself can protect me, can undo this knot, these various notions, this Hridaya Granthi, this Ahankara Mamakar, the various notions that I entertain right now. Lord can help me get rid of these knots. And again, comparison with mother, that just like the mother helps the child tie the shoelace, or helps the child in all the actions. So also, Lord, please, through your grace, liberate this jiva from the coils of avidya. And in this way, you please remove me of this Hridaya Granthi. You please cut asunder all this Hridaya Granthi and make me one with yourself. make me realize my true nature, because you and I are not different, because you and I are one. You are my uh, true nature. Uh, and what is my true nature is nothing other than Brahman, nothing other than Arunachala. So with this, we conclude for today. And we have 3 more sessions, I think, 108. So getting close, but hopefully one at a time. Arunachala Shiva, Arunachala Shiva, Arunachala Shiva, Arunachala, Arunachala Shiva, Arunachala Shiva, Arunachala Shiva, Arunachala. ॐ पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते ॐ शान्तिः 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 हरिः ॐ श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः हरिः ॐ हरि ओम्